There's a certain weight to a certified letter if you know you know. I could feel it before I even tore open the cardboard strip. Heavy, sharp around the edges felt like judgment. Felt like a headache wrapped in government-grade cardstock. And there I was, standing in the middle of my driveway on a Tuesday afternoon with the asphalt hot enough to make the air wobble around my ankles, staring at the return address, Oak Creek Estates Homeowners Association. Just looking at it, I knew my day had taken a turn for the worse. I was supposed to be fixing a leaky faucet, maybe patting myself on the back for being such a responsible homeowner. Instead, I was just stuck there, envelope in hand, mind racing through worst-case scenarios. The stamp wasn't even licked, just one of those printed meters, cold efficient like a little robot delivering bad news. I glanced up at my house. It was as normal as you can get, a couple of stories, garage shingles that still had plenty of life left, and painted in a color the folks at Sherwin-Williams call sand dune. Basically beige. Coffee with 2 creamers if you want the full picture. I'd painted it myself less than a year ago, felt pretty good about that until, well, this. I ripped the strip, unfolded the thick cream-colored letter, and there it was. The Oak Creek logo with an oak tree nobody's ever seen in this neighborhood, in a creek that's really just a drainage ditch behind the gas station. Dear Mr. Henderson, it's come to the attention of the Architectural Control Committee. My property apparently had fallen below community standards. Something about visual harmony and vibrational integrity. I actually blinked at that one. Vibrational integrity, I kept reading. Apparently the color sand dune had been deemed aesthetically lethargic. Neutral tones were fine, the letter said, but the lack of contrasting trim creates a visual void that lowers the energy of the street. There were complaints. My house was spiritually draining and an eyesore of mediocrity. Pursuant to Article 4, Section 2 of the CCNRs, I was hereby ordered to repaint the siding in a more vibrant light-reflecting standard, and I had 30 days. Fail, and it's $500 a day until I fixed it. $500 a day. I lowered the letter, stunned. My house accused of being lazy. My siding apparently was depressed. That's when I heard her, Mrs. Gable, president of the HOA, with a voice like cough syrup that's turned in the sun, standing just at the edge of my lawn. She knew the laws better than most lawyers, never set foot on anyone's grass, and she had that look, oversized sunglasses, clipboard in hand, floral dress worth more than my car. She smiled too sweetly. It's a notification, Mark. A call to action. According to her, property values were stagnating because my house was sucking the life out of the street. Not the economy, no, it was the energy. She waved at my house. It absorbs light. It doesn't give anything back. It's just sitting there. I tried to tell her it was the same beige as the Millers 3 doors down. Nope. The Millers have desert sand, she snapped. It has a pink undertone. Yours has a gray undertone. It's despondent. She even brought in a feng shui consultant who allegedly got a migraine just standing by my mailbox. I argued back. You want me to repaint my house because a consultant got a headache? She switched gears from spiritual to bureaucratic in a heartbeat. Bylaws required homes to be vibrant and clean. Mine apparently was just an aesthetic coma. And if I didn't want to pay $15,000 a month in fines, I'd better get to painting. I asked about the approved color list. There wasn't one, of course. Creative freedom within the boundaries of good taste, she said with that venomous little smile. Just stop being so opaque. And off she went back to her pristine sage green house garden, gnomes lined up by height. I stood there watching a bird land on my gutter. Didn't look spiritually drained to me. Slammed the door on my way in, but the AC didn't touch the anger simmering in my chest. It wasn't about the money, it was the arrogance. Aesthetically lethargic. Seriously. I went digging through my office, found the binder everyone gets at closing, the CCNR's, the Suburban Bible. Dusty never opened until now. I flipped through rules about dog poop and noise complaints, finally found Article 4. All exterior surfaces must be maintained to preserve attractiveness. Colors and materials consistent with high standards. Exteriors must be vibrant, clean, contribute to brightness. No color codes, no details. It was vague on purpose so folks like Patricia could weaponize it whenever they didn't like someone's aura. But you know, vague cuts both ways. Brightness, Patricia had said. We want reflection. Brilliance. I looked at my desk, at the sample of polished aluminum I used as a paperweight. I worked in supply chain management for big projects, skyscrapers, dealerships. That little sample Superchrome 3000 wasn't just silver, It was a mirror. Caught the desk lamp, shot a beam of light across the room. If I covered my house in this, I wouldn't just be bright. I'd be the sun. So I called Big Jim, a contractor who usually built casinos, not tract homes. He owed me a favor. I pitched the idea, mirror finish aluminum composite panels. Every inch of the house. He laughed so hard I thought he'd break his phone. You want your house to look like a UFO crashed into a split level? Does it violate code, I asked. Not as long as it's anchored and sealed. It's fire resistant. Technically, it's an upgrade. An expensive, insane upgrade. 50 grand, give or take. I winced. That was my emergency fund. But I looked out at Patricia pruning her roses, shaking her head at my allegedly lethargic house, and I decided. Order the panels, Jim. Highest reflectivity you can get without a hazmat suit. Buy some sunglasses, he said, and we were off. I felt more alive than I had in months. Vibrant, even. Later that evening, Patricia called out to me, visualizing a new color. Mark went toasted her with my beer. Oh, I've got the color. It's going to be brilliant. She beamed, totally unaware of what was coming. Monday morning, Jim rolled up at 7 a.m. sharp truck big enough to tow a bridge. Not exactly HOA approved. Neighbors peeked from behind curtains. Jim looked like a vending machine in a Carhartt jacket. This the combat zone, he asked. Right here, I said. That's the target, pointing at Patricia's house. We circled the house, Jim measuring, shaking his head. You really want this dead serious? We talked construction, aluminum rails, panels mounted out from the wall. Better insulation, actually. I didn't care about the utility bills, I wanted that mirror finish. He opened his case of samples. The mirror panel was almost blinding, 98% specular reflection. You're basically building a lighthouse, he said. It's rated for hurricanes. If someone keys your house, the key breaks first. I grinned. Let's get started, but keep it quiet from Patricia. We can move fast. I'll bring the skyscraper crew. We ride at dawn on Wednesday. For 2 days I wandered the house, kind of sad for the beige, kind of not. Patricia was right, it really was boring oatmeal architecture. I highlighted all the vague, exploitable words in the bylaws. Wednesday the invasion began. Trucks, vans, crates of aluminum, a telescoping forklift beeping loud enough to wake the dead. Neighbors poured out to watch. The installation wasn't subtle drills, drivers, scaffolding, men in neon vests swarming my house. Patricia marched over. Mark, what is happening? Earplugs in. I smiled. Just prepping the surface. You're supposed to paint, not attach metal bars? The letter said, address the exterior surface. Didn't specify paint. It demanded vibrancy. So I'm upgrading the cladding. She stared, not knowing what to say, then huffed off. By Friday, my house looked like a futuristic skeleton. The panels arrived, gray protective film on every one. Jim explained, install first, peel the film last. How long can we leave that on, I asked. A weekend, maybe? Let's let her think she won, I said, plodding. By Saturday afternoon, the house was a massive gray block, looked like duct tape gone rogue. Patricia strolled over, gloating. It's certainly different, she said. Industrial slate, very Berlin. I lied. It's gray, Mark, but not beige. So legally, you've complied. She looked disappointed. I watched her go, knowing the real fun hadn't started. Sunday, 9 a.m. Jim's crew returned, no tools, just the reveal team. We started peeling the film. The backyard side first. As the first sheet came off, I gasped. The panel reflected the grass and fence so perfectly the house looked invisible camouflage from a sci-fi flick. We moved to the front. Jim counted down 4 guys, grabbed corners, pulled. The sun hit it. It wasn't a reflection, it was an explosion. The street lit up, Patricia's house lit up. It was so bright, even with sunglasses, I had to look away. The blinds in Patricia's house glowed like there was a welding torch inside. She came out, screamed, dropped her mug. Mark, what did you do? I brightened it up. Is it vibrant enough for you? I shouted back. It's blinding. Turn it off. Can't turn off a house, Patricia. It's the sun. It's energy flow. The sun kept climbing and the mirror finish started to focus the light. The bay window acted like a lens shooting a beam across the street. It landed on her pink flamingo. 30 seconds later, the plastic melted into a neon puddle. Then the beam hit her petunias. Gone, just crisped to brown. Around 2 p.m., it hit her siding. Vinyl melts at 160 degrees. The siding started to sag, curl, peel away. I watched, beer in hand. You know, I said to Jim she was right. It really does feel more vibrant now. Patricia came out now in sunglasses and a sun hat and saw the destruction. She screamed, "You're burning my house down. I'm not doing anything." I yelled, "It's the sun, Patricia." She threatened to call the police and fire department, which naturally she did. The fire truck came first, stopped short, blinded by the glare. The fire captain, sunglasses on, checked the house. "What is this polished aluminum composite?" "Non-combustible." He checked her siding with a thermal camera. 210 degrees. "He's burning me out," Patricia shrieked. The captain shook his head. "Ma'am, he's just sitting there. The sun's doing the damage." Police arrived, Officer Miller. He looked at the mess, then at me. "Mark, I'm in compliance, officer. HOA wanted vibrancy." Miller looked at the molten flamingo side. "Technically, it's not illegal to be shiny," Jim chimed in. "She used the cheap vinyl. If she'd used hardy plank, no problem." Miller groaned. "Okay, nobody's getting arrested, but this is a civil nightmare. Patricia's going to sue you." "I have the letter, the bylaws, and a lawyer who hates HOAs," I replied. "Block the beam with your truck, Mark. At least for today." "Fine." I did. The death ray vanished. Patricia's house, warped and sad, stopped melting. Sunset hit, and my house reflected deep orange, beautiful and otherworldly. Jim nodded. "That's going to happen every day, you know." "I'm counting on it," I said. "She's going to call a meeting. That's when the real fun starts." Sure enough, next morning, emergency HOA meeting notice, neon orange taped right to my door. Hazardous reflective surfaces and arson by architecture. Catchy, honestly. I spent the day preparing, printed the original letter. Huge. Highlighted all the key words in blinding yellow. Even the specs for Patricia's melted siding. At the meeting, it was standing room only. The entire neighborhood wanted to see the man who turned the sun into a weapon. Patricia, sunglasses indoors, called the meeting to order. She tried to pin the blame on me, called it an atrocity. I stood up, presented the letter, read her own words. She demanded vibrancy, light, reflection, brightness. I showed the crowd my house. I complied, raised the energy so high we're challenging the laws of physics. Patricia lost it. "You melted my house. You did it on purpose. I didn't control the sun. The sun did what it does." I pointed out her siding, cheap, rated for 165 degrees. The mirror just pushed it over the edge. The room shifted. People started realizing Patricia was about to ask them to pay for her repairs out of the HOA fund. The crowd turned, "No way, fix it yourself." I offered a deal. Apply a matte finish film, make the house glow instead of burn. But you sign a waiver. HOA acknowledges full compliance, grants me a permanent variance, and holds me harmless for any damage. Patricia Cave signed so hard she ripped the page. The next day, the crew applied the matte film. My house turned from a weapon into a soft, luminous pearl, sleek, modern, and still the brightest spot on the block. Patricia watched as her siding was replaced. I toasted her with my beer, but she just disappeared inside. "You know, Jim said with that waiver you could do anything now." "Don't tempt me, Jim. I think the vibrations are just right." I looked at my house, not beige, not boring, the most technologically advanced, legally protected, spite-fueled house in the county. And vibrant. So vibrant. Let me ask you, when is following the letter of the law the right thing, and when is it just another form of payback? Ever had to outsmart the rule makers just to get a little peace? Tell me your story. I'll be right here sipping my beer, enjoying my shiny little victory.
Cảm ơn các bạn đã xem video.